Hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Spirit of Creating. And today I want to talk about the term realistic. And I've got a real bugbear about this whole concept of being realistic, because as a creative, a lot of people have opinions about the reality you live in and how maybe when it comes to pursuing your art or wanting more from it, whether it's making it as a career or going part-time with it or just sharing it even, people will use the term, well, be realistic. And it's as if it's a kind offering, be realistic. Like, I love you and I don't want you to get hurt, so be realistic. But I don't like the undertone of it, because it's as though there's one reality that we all share, and we must all succumb and fit into this norm of a constricted society. And if we want to do anything outside of it, we should be careful. It's almost like a warning. Why are you wanting to step out of the norm and do something different? Why don't you be more like us and don't do anything different and be realistic? And I wanted to explore it more because as a creative, I don't live in reality that other people might consider reality a lot of the time. When I make art, I'm not in a world where you can see the outcome. I'm in the world where you can't see the outcome, because I'm creating it in a sphere that doesn't exist yet. I'm creating in a space of the unknown. And from that space will manifest a painting, which then can be shared to the outside world and what looks like reality. So as creatives, we straddle two spheres all the time. We have the seen world and the real world, and we create from the unseen, unreal world. So when someone comes up with advice such as this, I don't bend to it, because I get to choose the reality I live in. I get to choose what risks I want to take with my life. And whether that pans out well or whether it fails miserably, I will deal with the consequences of either outcome. I'm not asking anybody else to support my outcome, whatever it might be. I'm willing to advocate for my art, and I'm willing to take the risks involved, whatever they might be, and I'm willing to move forward. And I wouldn't dream of telling anybody ever to be more realistic if they wanted to pursue something I couldn't see and I didn't understand, and then I was worried for them. I might say, I hope it works out. If it doesn't, I'm here for you. I support you in your endeavor. I may not understand it, but go forward, create whatever you want to create. But I wouldn't ever want to imply that somebody's doing something they desire to do and that is dangerous, maybe not good for them, and they're being slightly deluded, slightly childlike. There's a connotation around the whole term which reeks of judgment, actually, of not being adult and responsible enough, of not pursuing like the correct conservative conformist path. And I don't think it's a term that we should adhere to as creatives. In actual fact, I don't think we should at all. I think we should live in the realities we do live in from our imaginations. And then we could go ahead and create and not hold anybody else responsible for what it turns out to be. So this is a bit of a personal take on the idea of being realistic. And I am not saying that the people that might share those sentiments with us don't care about us or don't love us, but I am saying that we do want to be a bit wary of taking it on as though it's truth, because nobody is a soothsayer. Nobody can predict the future. Nobody knows what's to come. And people that say things like be realistic are coming from a position of acting like they can predict the future, that they can predict what would happen to you if you pursued this path. And they're predicting that from their own boundaries and limits and beliefs that they're coming from and living from. So why is anybody listening to anyone else's belief system? We all have our own. We all get to choose. So we can make our own choices about the realities we choose to live in and about the realities we wish to create. And if they don't seem acceptable and they seem deluded, even childlike, so be it. We all have our one life. We all get to live it how we want to. And if we're lucky enough to pursue what we want to pursue, then we can go ahead and do that. And we don't have to worry about everyone else's idea of what reality should look like for us. We get to choose that. So if you have any thoughts about this topic or any experiences of being told to be realistic, I'd be happy to hear them. You can share them with me at illustratingrain@gmail.com, and I'll be back again next week.